What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you guys caught the ending of the last vlog, you guys would know that we dropped off the Honda Civic here at bodywork SoCal, where my boy Alex did some surgery to the Civic. So we put on a new front end conversion. I'm talking hood, I'm talking front bumper, fenders, and we also have new wheels to show you guys in this video. So I'm super excited. My boy was sending me a bunch of photos and updates, and it really started getting me excited because it looks so freaking good. So this is my first time about to see the car. I'm gonna explain some reasonings as to why we went with the color we went with, along with like the wheels and just kind of the overall theme of kind of what we're trying to do. So without further ado, here is the new look of the Honda Civic. Dude, this looks so good. So as you guys can see, we went with a silver color. So this is a metallic silver color from Avery Dennison. I really like Avery. We have the Avery Dennison material on the 86. Just in case you guys are wondering, Avery is actually a pretty good brand. It's good for like a actual installer to work with, per what Alex tells me, if anything. So if you guys are thinking about a brand, Avery Dennison is a great brand. We've used it multiple times already. It looks like paint, dude. It looks like paint, bro. This is so crazy. Alex did me a solid, blacked out a couple things, ended up getting some new window trims as well from Honda. So that just came into the mail. My boy's opening that up right now, actually. We went with the SI front bumper, SI hood, SI side fenders, and then we also had gotten this lip here as well. It did say that it's like a Type R kind of lip, but I also was told that there's not a Type R lip. So just know, you know, it's not a legit, you know, lip or anything, but we could also change that later on. This is just the lip that kind of came with the kit. And to be quite honest with you, I think it looks a lot better with a lip on the body kit. So this is so nice. It also came with these headlights here. So as you guys know, we had the clear headlights from Headlight Depot, which were kind of cheapy, honestly. I think Alex sent me a video of like, hey man, where'd you get these cheap headlights from? Because freaking broke off when he was trying to like disassemble it. We got the black housing. We had the clear housing before, but I kind of like the black housing. I wasn't too sure how the black housing was going to look, but I do like how it looks. Then we have the grille here. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. I don't think it does enough justice, but this is something we could change later on as well. I'm so glad about changing out the hood too, because the other one was just, look at this one right here, just banged up, mangled. Jesus. Another thing that we kind of had to take off was the bash bar in the front. Wasn't going to be able to allow the front bumper to sit flush. Yeah, we kind of had to get rid of that. I know that's not something that is like quote unquote, you know, safe, or that some people would not want to do. Personally, I am okay with it. I'm not saying that you guys should, you know, go ahead and do the same thing. Definitely make your own personal judgment on your own builds. I wanted this bumper and wanted it to fit, and I figured, you know, hey, if we ever switch later on, I'm going to keep the bash bar and we can just, you know, kind of reuse it. So, was that the trim already? Yeah. Jeez, that was so fast. It looks good. Way better than the other one. This was all black. They spray painted it black. The other owners, really glad that it's not black anymore. It's like now one color. We still have the OEM wing. I was looking for another wing, but honestly, these wings are kind of hard to find, like a legit one, and they're a little bit pricey. We're just gonna have to kind of wait on. We have a bunch of other stuff that we were gonna need to do before that anyways. I just felt like us kind of doing this at the time that we did it is because Alex had, you know, a slot open, and I kind of already had some of the stuff kind of coming in. So, you know, I felt like why not just kind of do it all in one go while he has the slot open at the shop. We were going to kind of do this. We're going to wrap this, but this, for some reason, I don't know what kind of material this is here, but it just was not sticking with the wrap, and he even used some other stuff to try to help the wrap stick, and it just was not sticking. So luckily it is black, so it definitely matches in terms of like, oh, you know, some black accents and whatnot. It definitely kind of looks like it flows. So we're just gonna leave it like that for now. It's gonna look so good with the wheels on right now. Oh my gosh. Just wanna give a big shout out really quickly to my boy Alex, because he's wrapped many of our cars many times over and over again. He did the 86, he's done the Z, he's done the Honda Civic now, and I gotta say, my boy really takes care of us. He really helps us out in terms of doing like other small things. He was like, hey, you know, I took out the antenna here, do you want to get like an antenna delete? And he had me just kind of ship it to his house, and then a couple other parts he had me ship it to his house. But not only that too, you know, like this wasn't like aligning very well because it had like some kind of front end damage from the previous owner that wasn't shared, and we kind of just found that out in terms of like just taking things apart and being like, probably shouldn't be looking like this. He ended up kind of going in and fixing it as much as possible and trying to get the body lines and the gaps, you know, as close as possible as he can. And to be honest with you, it looks really good. Look at the gap here, like from the hood to the fender, like that looks really OEM. On this side you can kind of see that it's a little bit more open, but it doesn't look like too crazy. You know what I mean? I went with this color. I know we could have went with many other colors, but I went with this color because I looked up more rare colors on like the Type R or just kind of this model. This is what it said online. It said that in Vogue Silver Metallic, they only had made 444 units of this color, and I thought that was really crazy because, to be honest, I haven't seen many Type R's in the silver color. I've seen white, I've seen yellow, and then maybe the lesser colors I've seen like red and black. But when I thought about it, I actually really haven't seen this color before on the CTRs. That kind of led me to believe that it's actually probably true. I thought that was really cool. I kind of want to paint the car in that color one day, but for now, I got my boy to kind of wrap it. Now, I'm gonna show you guys the wheels. I gave you guys the introduction in terms of why we went with this color and the kind of the direction we're going here. I wanna show you guys what the wheels look like because it's also my first time seeing the wheels as well. And I gotta say, the tires that we got, it's just thick. Let me show you guys, let me explain. Here are the wheels. We have our very first set of TE37s. These are so freaking dope. They are 15 by 6.5 and then 15 by 6. I was just told this weekend I should have went with 15 by 8. I wasn't sure in terms of the sizing, but I thought I could pick these up for actually a steal. They were like close by, didn't have to wait or anything. It might not be like super aggressive, or maybe being able to like fit like a 225 I saw on those 15 by 8s. But I feel like this will be a good setup, so hopefully it's not like sunken in. If it is, then you know, we'll get some extended studs and we'll throw on a spacer. But for now, I think these are gonna look good. We wrap these with the Nitto Neogens, and this is 205 by 50. And I love the amount of meat that's on these wheels. Like, they look so freaking thick. I'm not gonna lie, it looked like it's a freaking rally tire, honestly. I think it's gonna just fill in the amount of space that we have kind of showing in terms of gap wise. We don't have any coilovers yet. We still have stock suspension in terms of like the shocks and everything, but that's going to be coming up. I do have something for that coming very soon, so definitely be on the lookout for that video. Obviously, you guys see that we do have the red decals as well. I know the blue ones are the famous OG kind of color for the TE37s and the Rays in general. But for what we're doing, I want to do kind of like red accents. I do have some ideas coming up that I've already been kind of preparing for in terms of like the interior of the car and then some other things. But I do like how the red looks on these wheels as well. So like I said, we have plans for this and it's all kind of coming into fruition. So definitely, hopefully you guys are kind of able to kind of see where the vision is kind of going here. The guy that told me that he got him, he told me that he kind of gets a bunch of shipments maybe like 1 to 2 times a month. This came off of the container. They are from early 2000s to late 90s, so these are definitely almost like a period correct kind of TE37, and I really like the style of this year. Like I said, I don't know the exact year, but that's basically what he had told me in terms of like the year range. Let's go ahead and throw these on and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright y'all, so this is what the wheels look like on on the car, and I gotta say, dude, it looks so freaking good. I really enjoy the amount of like meat that's on the wheels. I think it fits it very well. And then, you know, once we obviously lower it, I'm at like at least like 4 fingers in terms of gap wise. So it definitely needs to be lowered a little bit. But like I said, that will be kind of coming up. The wheels make it look so much better. We also went with some raised lug nuts as well. I went with the black ones, and it kind of has this like bronze lettering. Now it does kind of like, you know, match somewhat, but I would have rather had like white lettering. I think Alex also mentioned he might have had the idea of like I should have went like white lug nuts instead. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Should I go white lug nuts? Should I change these lug nuts, or should I kind of keep these black ones? At first, when I threw them on, I was not too sure about them. I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know if that flows very well, but it does kind of look good, so it does go with it. You know, obviously it being black, and black goes with any color. Let me know if I should go to the white lug nuts, if we should change the style of lug nuts. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the idea of like, you know, the 444 units of the Vogue Silver Metallic on the like CTRs, because I love that aspect, that rarity aspect, you know. And obviously we didn't have enough to actually get our own Type R just yet. Maybe we'll get one in the future and kind of redo the build, but for now I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this build, honestly. There's a couple things, small things that we kind of need to fix, whereas the windows are just not going all the way down. This whole door card is kind of trashed. I bought OEM window handles, but this is kind of chewed up in terms of like the ribs here. So I felt like this needs to be changed, but also just both windows on the passenger door and driver door just do not align very well. It's like very misaligned, and so I'm getting a lot of whistling in the car, and just as you can see here, the window is just not all the way up. It's very like, it's at an angle, so this side it's all the way up, but not this side. So we were trying to fix it as best as possible, but it just wasn't really working out kind of how we would want. And so that's like the best we can do right now in this moment. I did see that there might be like electric window conversions, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of considering it because I don't know, it might be just a little bit better for us in the future. And this is kind of a hassle with the whole manual door handle thing, and just the window not misaligning, and even the railings inside, I believe Alex said that might be messed up, and that's why the window is like misaligned. So just something that we have to address like later on. It's not really something that's super important right now. The whistling I can handle for the most part. This side of the window is a little bit better than the driver's side, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any ideas in terms of like how to fix that, even if we can, you know, do the electric window conversion, if that's actually a thing. By no means is the body kit perfect. Obviously we know that we have a little bit of imperfections, like when we got the car. Something kind of like this right here. You can see like, you know, there's this gap, and then on the other side there's like no gap. I feel like every build kind of has something that maybe the owner knows, like, yeah, that's not, you know, that's not perfect or whatever, whatnot. I think that from what we started with to where it looks like right now in this moment, I think it's a huge upgrade. So like I said, big shout out to my boy Alex. Thanks for always taking care of all of our cars. Literally, he has done all my cars at this point. Kind of wanted to do the second half of this video with kind of doing a little bit of update of where we left off from the last video. So I know we installed the rear trailing arms, but we kind of ran into a little bit of an issue towards the end. We had everything hooked up, but we were just missing the actual bracket that holds the e-brake cable and allows you to actually use your e-brake. Let me explain. Okay, so we're here in the rear of one of the wheels, and this is basically what I'm referring to. This is your e-brake cable here. And basically what I'm talking about is this bracket right here that the cable is going through. So I didn't have this bracket come with the trailing arms, but I ended up ordering one from a Integra. This is an actual OEM part, and it came with the bolts here, and it also came with the pin and the pin lock right here as well. Before I bought that part that came off of an actual Integra, I will say that I bought another part that wasn't necessarily named brand or OEM, and I will say that it didn't come exactly how we planned because the actual opening for where the e-brake sits, it wasn't big enough for the e-brake line to go through, and so that means I had to do a lot of drilling, and that is a very, very thick metal material, and it just wasn't working very well with the bit that I was using. So because I didn't have the right tools and because it just had to add a little bit more work, I just ended up going ahead and buying these brackets from an actual OEM car. Also, I ran into the problem that the line just wasn't reaching. I didn't know that I kind of had to get into here and loosen up this e-brake cable kind of all the way. So this nut right here, I had to loosen it up all the way to kind of the end of it. You can release a lot of the two cables that you see here, and then once you basically do that, you'll be able to come back down here and move the e-brake line further so it actually reaches this point, because the problem I was running into was it was going through the hole when I finally drilled out the bad one that we didn't use, but it just wasn't reaching once I kind of got it through the bracket, so it just wasn't making sense to me. But good thing we have Jonathan to kind of help us walk us through it, because he had just kind of mentioned to us saying maybe you should loosen up the cable all the way so you can release some tension and it can actually reach. The bad ones that we weren't using, it wasn't reaching, and I didn't understand why. Something so simple like releasing this little nut here, we were able to basically fit on the cable we had. So now we have everything that we needed, and we have our e-brake cable engaged now. And don't worry about this on the inside. Look at all these, look how filthy this is. Look at all the cord nuts. I have a plan for that already, and it's already here. That will be for another video though. Trust me, I haven't washed or cleaned the inside of this car since we got it, and it's only because I had an idea and I knew the parts were kind of coming in. So I'm really excited for that, so make sure you guys stick around for that video as well. This is what I'm talking about. You guys can look up brackets for the Honda EK or just, you know, doing this upgrade. A bunch of unbranded parts will kind of show up, kind of looking like this one, and as much as it looks exactly the same, it's not. Like this hole that you see here, as you can see, I was trying to drill this out and it just was not fitting the e-brake line. And another thing is that I kind of found out looking at the OEM ones that came off of the Integra, that they are directional. So one actually says L and the other one actually says R on there to let you know what side goes on what. So definitely make sure you guys take a look at that, because that was also something that I didn't realize when I got these ones, because they don't say it on these ones. Just kind of a little tip here just to kind of help you out in case you guys are doing this modification. It's not something that I was kind of like thinking about at the time. I just was like, man, why is it not fitting? They look so similar, and you know, this is just a thick piece of material here. So definitely, if you don't want to have to, you know, struggle on the terms of drilling it out, I suggest getting yourself maybe an OEM version. I will say though, I did pay $80 for these brackets on eBay, which I think is a astronomical price for something like this. Clearly it was a case of supply and demand, and they were supplying it and I needed it, so I paid for it. Now, as you guys can see, we have the e-brake engaged right now, so we definitely went ahead and tightened it up. We had already switched this side, but when we were switching the other side, definitely had to loosen this up a ton, like to the point where it was like almost off, to be able to give you enough slack on the other side to reach the pin side. So we went ahead and we engaged it, and honestly, we kind of, oh, that's tight, brother. That is very tight. All right, go ahead. Nice. So now we have an e-brake cable, and we just transformed this whole freaking car in this video. We have a new front end, hood, fenders, front bumper, grill, and even a lip, and then we wrapped the car as well. I really enjoy having this color. Just kind of having the idea in my head that if it was the Type R version, that Vogue metallic silver, and I really don't see that color a lot. And we got our very first TE37s, which is so cool. I feel like it's a little period correct. The guy that I picked it up from said that it was from the late 90s to early 2000s. So I really enjoy this whole design theme that we're kind of going with on this car. And I will say, these are probably one of the lightest wheels that I've ever had. Even though they are only 15s, they are just a really light wheel, and because this is my first time having them, I've never really interacted with them in that kind of way to really notice how light they are. Trust me when I say, no wonder that these wheels are just a very reused, sought after, some people might say even played out even, and honestly, it makes sense. They are a really good wheel. They look great on almost anything, and they're just really light. So not only do they look good, but they have function, you know? Car looks freaking great. Don't forget, I do have a new reservoir for the brake cylinder as well, and then the prop valve. We just have to go through it again and kind of install it and do another flush. I have been using the Prestone .3, and I probably should be using something that's a little bit more high temp, because if we're gonna be on the track, we're gonna be braking hard, we're gonna be braking a lot, and the normal temps that like the normal stuff that you would get at like AutoZone or O'Reilly's is not going to be very good on the track in terms of heat. So something that I just learned recently, or just was told recently, and so didn't really think about it. We're gonna be picking some of that up, and I'd rather do the flush with that instead of constantly doing a whole, you know, brake fluid change multiple times. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm actually getting ready to start another vlog, which I'm very excited for, because it's another install that is going to transform this car even more so. So definitely stay tuned for the next video, you guys. That is all I got. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. We're on our way to 10,000, and we can get there with your guys' help. I know I could get you guys to subscribe. I know a lot of you guys haven't subscribed already, but I'm gonna get you one of these videos. Make sure you guys live long and prosper. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.